Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Grada's Talk. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Grada Robertson and I'm the co-founder of the Purple House Wellness Center in Forth, which is a successful healing and coaching center that's been around now for 25 years already. I've also published 3 books that are behind me. And every week I share some tips and tools, give my audience and my community some tools to help you feel calm and up-level yourself and to give yourself a chance to have a really good week, another 7 days, something to work with. And today I want to share with you how you get some of your issues in your tissues, I call it. This is like pain and stiffness and aches in your body, or a pocket of traumas that are hooked and trapped somewhere in your tissues. And of course, as a healer, it's my job to quickly find where they are when I work with my clients one-on-one, and to release those with healing energy or positive energy. So today, I'm going to share a list with you that will also be part of this article. I'll publish it underneath the video for you to keep. You can print it out and hang on the wall somewhere. And these are called positive affirmations to help release the energy flow in your body. Because the words that we speak can be very, very healing, or they can be incredibly damaging. And unbeknownst to us, we have about 60,000 negative messages per day. According to the experts, that's roughly how we talk to ourselves. Most of our messages, most of our internal thinking, that sort of goes below the radar, which means we're not conscious of what we're thinking. Most of those thoughts are negative, or they are limiting, or they create pain in our body, because our subconscious mind, our immune system, is always eavesdropping to what we say to each other. Hopefully my connection is working, by the way. I'm seeing some things appearing on my screen, but anyway, fingers crossed. So, so we can have issues in our tissues anywhere, but I'm being organized today, and I thought I'll start with the bone structure, because you've heard of the saying, this goes bone deep, right? When it's bone deep, you can't go any deeper than that. And it means, well, when you can release it from the depths of your being, you get the most benefit and the most energy that's freed up, and you get the most lightness in return, or you free up a lot of your blockages when you go bone deep. So I just thought I'll show you what you can do to replace some of your negative messages and really jump behind the steering wheel, take charge of the direction your car is driving, your car being your body, and you being you, all right? And focus on your bones. So, and these are some of the things that I've learned over the years that I've seen again and again in my clients. So I know that this is true. This is how it works. So your bones, they contain, in the darkest places of your body, deep inside the bone marrow, your blood is created. I find that always so fascinating. And your blood is symbolic for joy, right? So Chinese medicine always say your blood represents your joy. So this is also symbolic language. So in the darkest, deepest places of your body, your joy is literally created. So let's go into some of your deep, dark places and connect with your bones. So you can, when you do this list, you can literally touch a bone like a finger, or you can put your hand on your heart and just slow down your thinking and your breathing, and start saying these things to your body to create healthy bone structure, with focusing on the bones today. So you can say, my life is organized and structured for my highest good. So this is symbolic of your bone structure, right? So if your bone structure is right, every part of your body can work fine. And this is symbolic of your life. So the more organized you are in your life, the more you prosper, because energies are always attracted to places of higher organization, and energies, the good positive energies, they shy away from chaos. So you can also say things like this: every day, in every way, the cells in my bone are getting healthier and stronger. And you can say my life is filled with loyal, loving, supportive people, because we become like the 5 people that we have most to do with in our lives. And it's very important that you surround yourself with people who are of good, healthy frequency, that support you, not people that drag you down. If you have too many people that drag you down, you have to start weeding them out of your life. All right, let's focus on the neck, right? So the neck is often a bottleneck. There you go, bottleneck says it already, where all the energies get trapped, and then the tissues respond, your muscles spasm, and you get lots of aches and pains. So you can just close your eyes and say out loud, I let go of all trauma being stored in my neck. So you just close your eyes, tune into your neck, and you do this for you, for yourself. I let go of all trauma stored in my neck. I let go of all genetic or past life issues stored in my neck. And then you can say, I'm open to seeing the bigger picture, and I look in all directions to find my true calling. Because when your neck is free, you can literally look in all directions. And some of us, like for me, the past is to the left and the future is to the right. So, and of course the real past is behind me. So if your neck is free and relaxed, you have a better perspective of your life and more clarity around where you need to go, and your life will flow better. And here's another good one. I recognize and release all rotating patterns that are hindering me. So we often have patterns that come around and around, and they trip us up. They're also called sabotagers. So let's say you might be saving up money to go on a holiday, and suddenly you break a tooth or something, you have to spend that money on the dentist, and you can't go on a holiday. And then you can start saving money again, and something else happens, like maybe your car breaks down, and then you have to spend that money on your car. So these are what we call rotating patterns. All right, and that is often to do with those pains of those kind of sabotages can trigger neck pain, like in the structure of your neck. So then the back is really, really interesting. I love working with people's backs. So the back is really symbolic of how supported you feel in life. So people with lots of back issues, especially lower back issues, are to do with, I don't feel supported in my finances. I'm not receiving enough support in my life. I'm not feeling safe. I'm not feeling secure. I'm lacking stability, and it's often to do with financial stability. If it's in the middle of your back, like around the kidney area and so on, it's more often to do with the pain of guilt and regrets. And if it's to do with your upper back, like your shoulders, it's often to do with stresses and conflict at work or in your current relationships at home. Also with you feeling burdened at the moment today with everything that's going on in your life, right? So, or maybe you're carrying the burdens of the whole world on your shoulders. So then you have to stop doing that as well, and you have to learn how to give that up. So your back, the spine structure, this is what I've seen in my work. The spinal structure will often deviate if there has been, an obstruction of truth in the family or in the larger family. So often what I've seen is if the family has a secret, like a shameful secret, right? Back in the past, people had shameful secrets, like they might have had a child that they had to give away, or things like that people used to have a lot of shame around, and there was lack of honesty, or all kinds of family secrets. I mean, I've heard many over my life. But if that secret stays a secret, the energy of that secret, the shameful energy, goes into people's backs, and it can cause the spine to curve, or it can also cause a lot of back issues. So I just want you to be aware of the fact that your spine loves the structure of truth, especially your truth. And you have to teach yourself to be always living from your own truth, speaking from truth, and what's the word? Intuitively knowing when something isn't a truth, when it's a half-truth or a lie, and just to remove yourself from those situations. So what's really good for your back and your spine is when you say, the universe always has my back. The universe always has my back. My truth and integrity remains balanced in all my systems. Or you can just simply say, I'm living from my highest truth. I'm in alignment with my highest truth. And you can also say, I stand tall. I believe in myself. I let go of past hurts. I embrace my future, because the back is also to do with the past. But when one of my little grandchildren was born, I immediately saw she had like energetic blockages behind herself at the back already. So we can come in with that as well. And that is often to do, well, and she's 8 now, and I've seen how she operates, right? I've seen it from day dot. So she is very, very chatty and talkative. But I know that when it comes to a deeper truths, she holds that in her heart, and she actually doesn't share them very easily. She doesn't communicate them very easy. So this is another thing. On the surface, everything can seem very, very transparent, but it may not be the case at all, because some people, they seem transparent, but they're holding their own truth or secrets or whatever it is close to the heart, and that all starts to pile up in the back heart chakra. All right, so it's all here, by the way, so I don't need to read it out. You can read it out to yourself and play with it. How I'm going to suggest that you use this list is that you print it out, and then you just choose 1 or 2 or maybe even 3, you read through it, 3 affirmations that really hit you, right? They just hit you in the face, and then you know, well, this is for me. I'm going to work with this one for a few days and see how it changes the positive flow of energy throughout your body, right? But I want to talk about the hips a little bit and the pelvic structure, because really our worst, deepest traumas that also can pass down from one generation to the next, they're often held in the sacrum and in the pelvic structure and in your hips, and they cause your hips to move out. You can go to a chiropractor or have a spinal adjustments done, but the memories or the emotional charge that remains in the bone structure will pull your hips out again. So it's really, really good for you to get a handle on it. And one way is to get some awareness of what's really going on in the hips. So, all right. So of course, in the pelvic bowl, we carry a lot of trauma to do with like sexual issues or mistreatment, or where your boundaries were crossed, or people dishonored you, or of all that nature. So there's a lot of old history in pretty much in everyone's hips, because if you were lucky enough to, you know, to have a good life and nobody mistreated you, you don't have to look far back in your history to find an ancestor who did suffer terrible traumas, and that still comes through the hip into the pelvic structure into you. So a really good one to say is I replace all fear being held in my pelvis with love or self-love and compassion. Okay, so you can just say that I replace all fear, or I replace all trauma held in my hips or pelvic bowl with unconditional love and compassion. Or you can even put in the word safety and security. And then you can say, I release my old history from my hips. I allow my hips to carry me gently to my destiny. And you can say, my hips are in perfect balance. And the thing is, you really need to feel into it. You don't just say those words, right? You have to feel into it and give your body your full attention. Be present with your body, as you're talking to particular body parts. So knees are often to do with when the heart overflows, right, with issues. Often they will drop into your knees and your knees take them on, and that affects your direction in life. So your knees, of course, are symbolic of stepping out in life and stepping into your own direction. And so you can say things like, positive energy flows through my knees in a never-ending circle, or cycle rather. So positive energy flows through my knees in a never-ending cycle. And that's a really, really positive one to say. And the knees are often affected by anger and frustration that you're ignoring, so it's just piling up in your body, and that can cause your tendons to snap and create all those knee injuries that we see a lot. So you can say, I release all anger and fear trapped in my knees, and I embrace love, or I embrace peace and harmony, or you just put in something that inspires you, that makes you feel better. You can also say, I release all genetic issues being held in my knees. Now, you don't just say that once, you have to probably say that many, many times. You might have to say that 100 times or more. So genetic issues are often seen in families. I've seen it in my father. He had some issues. He had a few accidents in his knees, and I'm conscious of it in my boys and my nephews. So these are all my father's grandsons, right? So if a body part breaks down, it will often be the knees. So they need to learn how to release their own genetic issues, right? So your ankles are to do with stability as well, because like we often trip up. So like when we trip ourselves up, that it's often shown in our ankles. When we trip ourselves up, that means we're not taking good care of what's important for us. And we do that over and over, so it becomes a pattern. So you can say, I feel my ankles with the frequency of love and strength. I now no longer trip myself up. I release all pain being held in my ankles. And you can change it to even something stronger, like I leap over all obstacles. I leap over it. So leaping is a more positive energy because you leap for joy, don't you? I leap over my obstacles with ease and grace. And then we go into the feet. So the feet, of course, are a very important bone structure. They're very symbolic of your entire body. And so you can think of your feet and say something like, I lead a very grounded existence. I live a grounded existence. We all need more grounding. Or you can say, I release all old stagnant energy from my feet, being held in my feet. I'm able to stand up for myself. That's another good one. I nurture my feet with positive energy. And then we have our toes. Like our toes are very symbolic of lots of things. Like the big toes represent the head, like your thinking, your brain, every part of your head, and your little toes are to do with your ears and eyes and your sinuses and so on. But I've got a few good ones here. So you can say, I now no longer toe the line. I remain true to myself. I no longer tiptoe around, and I jump into the joy of living. So these are all things that will become true when you repeat them to yourself, right? And then we do the shoulder structure. There's a big bone structure here. So you can say, I am free and I vibrate with my own energy. I replace tension and stress with relaxation and ease. So you're telling your body, you're literally telling your body, that's what I want. And then your body is always your willing servant. It wants to achieve what you ask it, right? Your elbows, they're very symbolic of like elbowing your way through life. You know, when you think of elbow work or elbow grease, we talk about elbow grease, that means effort. You have to put in a lot of effort and pressure in yourself to get the results that you want, or to elbow your way to the top. So you have to change it around with something positive that is relaxing and that's still true, right? So you can say, I release all feelings of past injustice, because sometimes people experience they bypass, because people push through, they pass them by, and they take the prize that really belongs to you. So you can say, I now release all pain of past injustice. And you can also say, I create peace and harmony in my elbows, and I'm able to express the way that I feel. So your wrists, they're also super important, because they are to do with receiving. Because when people, for instance, when you're driving the car and you're behind the steering wheel, I just want to, this is super important if you do lots of driving, and then you get a lot of tension in your wrists and hands, and just even the action of holding onto the steering wheel like this releases adrenaline and cortisol in your body. And cortisol, we all know that's the stress hormone that kills you, like it knocks off your brain cells and your neural pathway, and it creates premature aging. So even if you're driving a lot, make sure that you relax your hands and spread your hands open and just flop your wrists and all the rest. And so you can say, I am open to receiving, right? I release all trauma energy from my wrists. And your fingers, you can also say, I reach out and grab hold of life. I release all fears trapped in my fingers, and I receive love in my life. And then your hands, so your hands are symbolic of empowerment, but also your hands are an extension to your heart, an extension of your heart, by the way. So it's like, I'm now ready to receive, less striving and everything more receiving. So it's being able to give and receive, right? Giving and receiving equally, not just giving out all the time. And like you're giving out all the time and your receiving hand remains closed. This is common to a lot of women, because a lot of moms, I should say, they're just so used to giving all the time and they've forgotten what it's like to receive. So just opening your hands, feeling connected to the universe, allowing yourself, becoming conscious that, hey, it's also my turn to receive, because the universe wants to give to me. I no longer hand over my power, I'm empowered myself. And then of course the hands, if your hands are very, very tense, that's often a sign of anger, and you're disconnected from your anger, and now the anger is hiding in your hands, right? So it's also really good to just flick your hands around and wriggle your fingers. And that way you start to release all the right happy hormones in your body. You become conscious of how your body is shaping itself around you and your habitual thinking, how you think and what you think, and how you maybe disconnect from your desires. A lot of people do that as well. So it's all in these notes. By the way, I covered a lot of stuff, but I think that's a really, really fun way for you to challenge yourself and just allow yourself, get to know yourself on a deeper level and become conscious of, hey, why do I have a pain in my elbow? Well, perhaps it's something to do with what you heard me explain today, because everything has a physical meaning, but everything also has a soul meaning or a spiritual meaning. And I'm more interested in the spiritual meaning, because when we understand that, then we're working upstream and your body will adjust and pain will completely disappear from your body. I promise you that it will, because, for instance, you don't have to suffer from whiplash all your life or other pain from injuries, because your body can get over all those injuries very, very quickly. But it's actually the emotions that are trapped in your tissues that you need to release. And so I'm just going to encourage you that you just be your own healer, activate your own inner healer, be your own best friend, work with some of these affirmations, have a bit of fun. See what it brings up for you and how your body responds. You will probably find that you sleep better, or even, some of your structural pain will completely disappear, because your body will start to feel understood by you. And to your body, you're the most important person in your life, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? So your body creates your attention the most. So I'm going to encourage you to give yourself lots of attention and be kind. And I hope to see you again next week. If you need more help and want to shift lots of stresses from your body very quickly, please book in for a session with me or Peter. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I look forward to being with you in my room. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a wonderful week. Bye for now.